Me a few minutes of your Saturday morning. I've got a special show for you guys today. I know it's kind of short notice, but I just can't help but deliver this piece of content to you because I think that this will help open up your eyes in 2019. So I'm excited to share a piece of your morning with you, and I definitely plan to deliver some massive value that's going to have you looking at your current regimen, your current day to day list of activities and the things that you do every single day and make it a little bit more efficient. But my goal actually within this live stream is to help you make sure you're in the right place, make sure you're in a position where you're maximizing the return of every single day that you put into this job. Because at the end of the day, if we really think about it, one of the primary reasons that we become a loan officer or even join this industry or even be in sales period is because of the upside and the potential of the income that we can generate. And so I think it's important that we identify that importance because that's ultimately where our desires are rooted from. And if you're finding yourself in a spot right now where you're not yet earning the income that you need to make, I hope to deliver to you content within this live stream that's going to help you make the income that you desire to make. And the funny thing is that when we originally started this, this type of work or this line of work, when we got into sales and we're going through the process of getting our NMLS license and choosing the employer and where we're going to work, where we're going to hang our license per se, what we ideally wanted to do was obviously make as much as we can, right? And so we have this kind of this conception of the opportunity and the upside that we can make, but in all reality, in most cases, we typically fall short. So I've got the live chat up. And for everyone that's tuning in, definitely jump on and put some notes or comment in the section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. At the end of this live stream, I plan to do some Q&A session where I can answer questions that you have directly. And this is going to be a little bit different than your Thursday's Breakfast of Champions because there's not really any time constraints. So I can really spend some time with you, go through some questions that maybe I'm not able to answer for you, through the videos that you watch on YouTube or even on Facebook or some of the content and comments that you leave maybe on Instagram or Twitter. And so I'm going to spend some time with you this morning, hopefully rev you up so that by Monday morning you look at your game in a completely different light. And my intention is to genuinely help you really experience kind of the fruits of being in this industry and being in this line of work. Because remember, what we do at the end of the day, what we do is we sell money. And if we have right now a license, an NMLS number that's in good standing, what that is we're basically licensed to sell money, right? We're licensed to help people obtain financing for real estate, and real estate will never go away. Real estate is something it's a very hot commodity. And so my hope to you is that, by delivering this information, I'm gonna help you look at basically your license in a completely different way. So let's go ahead and get onto the show. I'm gonna bring on a slide deck that I made so you guys can see ultimately what I'm getting at. And today's show again is going to be based on the MLO, which is mortgage license loan officer, the pay structure that we have, right? And I think that when we identify kind of the ins and outs of how we get paid, we can create a system that will systematically help us generate the results that we want. And so today's, again, live stream is going to be primarily focused on the MLO pay structure and how we make money as loan officers. Now, my goal for this meeting is to, one, teach you how to make the income you want as an MLO in today's market. And then number two, I want to help you understand why some MLOs make significantly more than other loan officers. And again, at the end of the stream, I'm going to do a live Q&A. So stick around, get your questions ready. And when you have your questions up inside the comment section, I'll answer them and spend some time with you. Now, what I want to do is, again, point out the intention of our primary goal. And what it is that we basically just want to close deals and make money, right? At the end of the day, that's what we plan to do every single day. And really, in all reality, what it feels like is we continuously meet resistance. We continuously get kind of rejected, right? And so we find ourselves at times where we're just kind of in this lost state, this frustrated state. And my goal is to help you kind of remove that grind, remove that stress, and remove that discomfort. Because when you understand how to really do this game, you make it a game, but more importantly, you start seeing the results that you want. So let's talk about the MLO pay structure. Everyone, for those of you who are not too familiar with the pay structure, maybe you're new. For those of you who are seasoned, you kind of already understand this. But I'm gonna just do a quick run through on how we get paid, and typically we get paid in BIPs, right? So BIPs is referred to as, you might see it on your commission schedule or your job offer as BPS. And basically what it means is basis points. So it's 1/100th of 1%. So if 1% was $1, think of a BIP as 1 penny in essence. And that's typically how we get paid. But when we understand how we get paid from the BIPs, which is basically a percentage of the funded loan amount, the formula to create an idea of how much you're going to make per deal is you take the percentage or your BIPS amount and you multiply it by the loan amount, right? And so that becomes obviously your commission amount. So in this industry, depending on who you're working with or the employer that you work with, whether you're inside, you're outside, typically the average payout for mortgage loan officers is anywhere from 25 bips to 200 bips or 2%. And again, it really depends on whether or not you're inside or you're outside. And typically, I'm going to show you the actual difference. But when you really break it down, whether you're making like 100 basis points in this example, and let's say you funded a loan amount of 250,000, right? So you basically take $250,000 and you'd multiply it by 1%, which is 100 bips. And so for that one deal, you would essentially get paid out $2,500. Seems pretty simple, right? Now, some of us in here or watching this live stream, we probably don't make 100 bips. And that's probably because we work on an inside call center. Some of us probably do make that amount. And so you might be outside, or you might have a specific lead campaign that allows you to collect 100 basis points. And so the reason why I'm going over this is because when you understand how it breaks down, you can create a system that generates the income that you desire. And so if you desired $10,000 per month, then you have an idea that you can basically close about 4 loans at $250,000 and create your $10,000 per month income. Sounds pretty easy, right? But let's use an example of a 25 basis point payout. And so typically this basis point payout are paid out to loan officers who work on an inside call center. And you might be like, well, why is there so much of a big difference? And the primary difference is because when an inside loan officer, when you're in that position, you're typically given leads all day. Whereas the 100 basis point example, you're not necessarily given leads, or maybe you are given leads, but this 100 bips payout is more of a harder lead to convert. And so maybe it's just a name and phone number, and it's not necessarily any details or past client or portfolio type retention deal, right? Where this 100 basis point payout could very well be for outside loan officers. I'm curious. Comment here in the chat box. Let me know if you're an inside loan officer or an outside loan officer. All you got to do is just comment inside loan officer or outside loan officer. And I'd be interested to see how many of us are actually being paid out over 100 bips or 1% of each loan amount. But it's important to identify the difference between the two, because on an inside loan officer, typically you're given massive amount of resources. So you're given, leads per day and they're being fed to you. You don't necessarily have to hunt for your lead base. You don't need to be in charge of your marketing. Your company typically provides that for you. And so the exchange is that if the company gives you X amount of leads per day and they give you all these resources, then the payout is typically smaller, right? And that's where you get this 25 basis point deal. But if you are receiving 100 basis points, like in this example, you're going to probably be more on your own. So it's your job to find your own marketing. It's your job to find your own referral partners. It's your job to go out and find that business. And what's interesting is that, when we get into this industry, we are motivated or influenced to get into the highest payout, because why not, right? Like, damn, if I can make 100 basis point here, then never mind the 25 basis points. I want more money. And my goal to you is to really open your eyes and understand that there is a side that fits you more, and it's going to be dependent on your style, your sales skills, and ultimately what best suits you. Because the last thing you want to do is chase money. Because at least in my experience, I've noticed, salesmen typically jump from company to company. There's never any solid foundation for a loan officer who's just chasing the payout. And I've seen many successful loan officers who get this smaller amount of pay, and they've been with their company for years. But the question is, well, why wouldn't they go with this 100 basis point? If I can make $2,500 versus 625, it seems like a no-brainer, right? But it's because with this smaller payout, the system that they are being given is more compatible to their skill set. And so maybe they aren't a face-to-face person. Maybe they don't like the pressure of hunting for the business. Maybe they don't, they don't really like the networking events. Maybe they're introverted. There's multiple reasons why, and I need you to understand that if that is your way, then maybe the 100 basis point and being out there networking with realtors probably isn't your thing. But the key is, though, is that you're still licensed. You still have an NMLS license. So don't chase the money, chase where you're most compatible with, because you might see the $2,500 payout versus the 625 and say, you know what, I'm gonna just do 100 basis payout. And I want you to understand that regardless of what you choose, whether it's the 25 basis points or the 100 basis points, these are also paid out differently. So let me give you an example. So if you were to fund, let's say, 10 loans a month at 25 basis points, and we're using the $250,000 loan amount as an example, right? So if you're paid, if you close 10 loans, you would make $6,250. And it's a little easier to close 10 units in an inbound call center because you're being fed leads every single day. As long as you understand how to sell those leads, there shouldn't be any problem with you converting a lot of those deals into funded loans, whether purchase or refinance. So this is going to apply to both sides, right? As the outside loan officer, even though you make 100 basis points, because you're only able to generate 2 deals, maybe that only netted you about, grossed you about $5,000 payout. So in this example, when you compare the two, it's like, who's really making more money? Is it the 25 basis points or the 100 basis points? So when you identify the two, and you might be, I hope that you're not blinded by, thinking that, oh, well, I get paid more here because I'm a 100 basis point unit or 100 basis point earner. But at the same time, you have to go through the struggle of finding your own business, and maybe you're having a challenge with getting realtors to send you business, and so thus you're only closing about 1 or 2 deals per month. And the idea is that, well, yeah, but I'm outside and I get more freedom, or I get to meet people, and that's fine if that's where you feel most compatible, and that's what kind of livens you up, like that's your flow, that's your energy, that's the way you like to do business, then so be it. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to identify what avenue to take to make the most income, maybe even an inside loan officer isn't a bad idea. If you think about where the industry is headed, I think call centers are going to become more and more popular and common, especially as Amazon and Zillow get into this market. They're really going to infiltrate kind of that call center experience and automate it more so, kind of like Quicken Loans is doing right now. But with the 25 basis points pay structure, usually they provide tier bonuses, right? And so besides making the $6,250 on 10 funded units, the inside loan officers will have a tier bonus. So if you fund 7 units, for example, you'll get a bonus of $1,000 on top of your pay. If you fund 10 units, you may get a tier bonus of 2,500, 15, 5 grand, 20, 10,000. As the 100 basis points unit, there's not really any bonus or tier bonus being given, because again, it's their capability of making significantly more income is just by closing more deals, right? So, for example, if you were an MLO or loan officer that was an inside loan agent, and let's just use the 10 unit, for example, even though you only made $625 versus the $2,500 payout, if you close 10 units, you would make about 6,250, but then you would also get to add in a tiered bonus, which in our example was 2,500. So obviously that would come out to about 8,750 combined. And when you add your hourly wage, because usually inside loan officers are paid hourly wage, the minimum wage, right? But when you add it together, you've now cleared $10,000 a month, which is pretty cool, right? I mean, the whole idea is to make a six-figure income because you have the ability to do so. But sometimes we're blinded at the very beginning where we think that, oh, you're only getting paid 25 basis points, you're probably not making any money. I know inside agents that are dominating the game and making much more money than outside loan officers, even though they're getting paid 200 basis points and the inside loan officer is getting paid 25 basis points. Now, this stream is not to influence you to become an inside loan agent. I'm not trying to influence you to be an outside loan agent. What I'm trying to do is help you open your eyes to figure out what is going to give you the most return, because the last thing you want to do is be a hungry, starving agent that's not making the money that you are capable of making by having your license. So again, going back to the $625 versus the $2,500, the choice is yours. If you really thought about it, closing 10 units at $625, you'd still earn more than a 2-unit funded payout from a mortgage licensed loan officer. So keep that in mind, because I think that when we, really break it down in that level and we actually compare the two, when you think about like the inside loan agent where they just cleared $10,350 from doing 10 units, whereas the outside loan agent maybe on average is doing 2 units a month, is only clearing 5,000. If that's you right now, I would strongly recommend that you really kind of assess your game plan. Now, you could very well make 10 units as well as outside loan officer. Now you're really killing the game, right? So compared to the inside MLO, it's oh shit. Like if you think about it, like, 10 units at 2,500 payout, that's $25,000 a month. That's going to put you well over $250,000 per year. So yeah, it makes sense. But the question is, well, how do I multiply the results, right? Like how can I go from the 2-unit right average per month at 5 G's and actually scale it to 10,000? And it's very possible. It does take time, and it does definitely take the right coaching. It takes the right information and environment to have around you. So the question is, well, how do I multiply my results? How do I take my capability of going, whether you're an inside loan agent at 25 bips or you're an outside loan agent at 100 bips, right? And some of you guys get paid more. Some of you guys might even be paid less. But how do I multiply the results where I'm consistently closing 10 units, whether inside or outside? Because the upside is that the inside loan officer, if they're closing on average 10 units, they're only going to gross under 125,000. Whereas the outside loan officer, if you're very good at what you do and you're able to secure referral partners and build up that book of business, you could potentially be paid out significantly much more than an inside loan officer. So that's the key, is that you just need to understand how to do it. Now, I want to share with you guys a little bit about my background. When I first started, I actually started off in a call center, and it looked like this. And I had this real small cubicle. I actually started as a telemarketer and quickly grew into a loan officer, but I came up inside an inside call center environment. And when I came into the inside call center environment, there wasn't really too much of a difference. This is before like all the rules changed and the payouts changed. Like no matter if you're inside or outside, you're usually getting about 80 basis points per deal. And so you would, or 80% of the actual full commission, right? So if you charge 1%, you would get 80% of that amount. And so nonetheless, it was coming from an inside loan officer, loan agent. Now, times have changed. So it's a little bit different in today's market. It's a little bit different in today's technology. So you have an opportunity to, do an inside or outside, and the choice is yours. But whatever choice you decide to make, you need to learn how to scale your business. You need to learn how to be efficient with your job. You need to learn how to actually do sales. And one thing that hasn't changed from when I first started to today is that there's still lack of resources. There's lack of actual sales training and coaching and mentoring. You see, I had to learn it the hard way. And what I mean by the hard way is that it was basically the old formula that old seasoned veterans used to use, like my manager used to use, or the VP used to use. And these companies are so they're just so stuck in their ways that they think it's just basic numbers, like it's a numbers game. And I want to open your eyes to make you understand that it is not just a numbers game. There's an actual science to it to become a little bit more efficient. And so today, how we're being given sales training, or how we're being given instruction to go and make that type of compensation, is typically the hard, outdated ways. So we're being told to play the numbers game, right? Like the more calls you make, the more sales opportunities you'll get, the more appointments you make, the more opportunities you get. And what happens is, again, we kind of go into this spiral, right? Like whether you're told to, make one appointment per day, go spend some time with the realtor, and then you find out that that realtor is never going to send you any business. That realtor never deserved your time because they're not even making moves themselves, but you're being told this direction, right? Like why? Primarily what it's doing is it's just burning up your time. And that's why as an outside loan agent, you may not be generating the results that you want. But then again, you're being told these instructions and wondering, well, how come I'm not getting the results as others, even though I feel like I'm doing the exact same thing? And your ultimate cost is basically a ton of your time, and your time is valuable, right? So you can't necessarily get that back. So I was there, right? Like I also was there, but from the very, very beginning, when I started, I used those old ways, those old suggestions, and thought in a completely opposite way of the way that I produce now and the way I look at the business now. And so my goal is to help you also look at your business and look at your opportunity in the same exact way. Because at one point, if you can relate, I felt like I was in a hamster wheel. Essentially, I was making tons of moves. I was working tons of hours. I thought I was doing everything right because I was taking the recommendations from my, the veterans around me and the management team around me. But no matter what I did, I just simply wasn't making the amount of sales or income that I wanted. And I knew that I had the potential. I knew that I could make so much more. And it really ate at me. It bothered me because I was seeing other loan agents make 2, 3, sometimes even more, 10 times the amount of income that I was making. And I felt like it was because of me. And, so I went on this period where I couldn't make the results that I wanted. And then I found a mentor. By the way, my mentor didn't look like this, but if he did, he'd be cool as hell, right? But I found a mentor. And the mentor taught me certain things. Basically, what a mentor does is they basically help you climb to the top, and they show you, the things that actually make this game work. And if you have a mentor around you, latch onto them. If you find it hard to find a mentor, then you have all the content that is found at Sales Remastered to help mentor you. We don't necessarily need to be in person. Technology and videos online nowadays can allow us to kind of work together essentially almost every day, depending on how close you follow the content, right? So essentially what the mentor allowed me to do is just basically learn the shortcuts. So I wasn't burning up my time, doing actions that didn't generate the results. And I'm so grateful that I was able to find this mentor. The mentor allowed me to change my game because I was, again, back in that hamster wheel, right? Like I was doing all the moves. I was spending all the hours, sacrificing all the time, making all the appointments, staying an hour later, and I was just getting so burnt out. But my mentor taught me an efficient way to do this business. And it's so odd because without that information today, I'd still be burnt out. And if I didn't get the information or the coaching that I needed to surpass my expectations, I wouldn't have experienced the actual real fruits of being a licensed loan officer, right? And so again, what I planned to do every day when I first started was close deals and just cash checks. I wanted to make money. And I think at some point we can all relate. We come into this game with the same exact expectation. We walk into our sales floor or into our office every single day with the plan to close deals and count money. But really what it feels like is we just get rejected all day, right? We get doors slammed in our faces. We get turned down by realtors. We get turned down by prospects. We get turned down by almost everyone. But ideally our goal, right? It looks nothing like what we intended to do. And so this is where the frustration comes into place. And my goal is to not ever let you be like the person on the right. I don't ever want you to feel like you're lost or you're like it's you, because you have the resources available. And I'm so glad that I was able to find the mentor, because he opened my eyes to those resources, so much so that I'm a mentor today. I'm a mentor to thousands of loan officers all across the country. As a matter of fact, some of my students have actually grown to be within the top 10 of their sales field. And so I'm taking all the lessons that I personally have learned, and as they've evolved with the market, now I'm sharing it. Now I'm actually I've become a direct mentor and coach to loan officers across the nation. I want to share a story with you of one loan officer that I was able to mentor, and this person's inside the Sales Remastered University. And here's a review that's on Sales Remastered Facebook page. But essentially, what he was telling me was that, or at least left on the review, is that in a company of 200 agents, now think about that. How many sales representatives do you have inside your company? Well, his particular platform was 200. So obviously this is a pretty big company, right? Well, in April 2018, he invested into the course, and with the goal in mind to become one of the top 5% within the company and make a company trip. Typically with companies, they'll actually reward their top producers with exclusive trips just for the elite people, right? So like my company, we have one that's called President's Council, which I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have made. Even though I'm a manager, I'm a producing sales manager. So I was actually this year just announced the top sales manager in my company. And so I earned my way into it because I'm one of the top 10% of the company. But in Aaron's case, he wanted to become one of the top 5%. And so after he basically merged himself into Sales University, took the coaching and the resources and the information and just applied it. It's as simple as that. It shot him up to not only the top 5%, but he earned that trip. Today, Aaron sits as the #1 mortgage loan officer in the company. Like, imagine that. Like, how much pull do you have? How much, you know what I mean? Like, how much red carpet treatment do you get, right? So, and I know that's ultimately where we want to go, and that's where we want to be. And all I did with Aaron was basically teach him the same exact techniques that I'm using today, but I delivered it in a way as a practitioner, because I'm doing this too. Today, right now, I'm still in the sales floor. I produce with my team. As a matter of fact, I shared this on one of my live seminars back in December. And it was basically just for giving proof, right? I'm not trying to brag or anything. I just want to share with you how having a mentor and understanding the right way to do this game can really set you up for massive return. And for those of you who know me, I work inside, right? I don't get paid any more than the average inside loan officer does. But I figured out a system where I can automate and multiply my results. And it really has to do with the way the sale is framed, delivered, and kind of sized up. And I'm doing it in a way where I can multiply my results because I'm doing a lot of my existing book of business. So every deal that you fund, like right now, you have to expect that you're going to be funding them again, like in 6 months, 12 months, you're going to work with them again. And if you do the process right, you'll ensure that you're going to get the same results. You'll ensure that you'll get repetitive business. How agents are smashing the game right now and making more income is because they're actually working with their existing clients and their past clients. Right? So not only are they closing new business, but a lot of it is actually coming from their past business too. And so you guys might think like, what you're a manager, you get override. Well, I want to share with you that the override from my team is completely separate, right? So that's on the right. That's the monthly bonus. So that's my override for the team. I don't rely on that. Just like I don't rely on the regular time base pay. I'm not there for that. And so what I'm there for, though, is to maximize on the opportunity, because I have something called an NMLS license. And I think we all want these same results. We all want to understand how to get there. But the question is, how do we get there? So whether you're an inside loan officer, whether you're an outside loan officer, the techniques and the teachings that I give inside my mentoring, it works for you. Whether you're a retail, call center, retention, beginning, like you're just beginning as in this game, or even if you're a seasoned LO and you just want to know what it takes to kind of evolve and adapt and remaster your way. Basically, it works for all loan officers. Now, why it's so easy is because inside this course, and maybe I'll bring it up and actually show you guys, is because it's delivered in a way where it's already done. It's already a tried and proven way. So you get purchase templates, you got sales script templates, email templates that are already tried and true. They're already pre-written. It's down to a point where all you got to do is copy and paste. That's how simple it is. But there's also voicemail scripts, there's social media blueprints on how to brand yourself the correct way. And also there's scripts on rebuttals. Like every single sales objection that you're getting right now that's stopping your sale, there's a rebuttal to it. And I'm giving you the perfect rebuttal that I know works because I'm a practitioner today. I'm actually using these same rebuttals, and it's generating the same, the results that I'm showing with you in proof in writing. So what's inside of like one of these seminars or one of the actual courses are modules, and the modules are broken down in a way where it separates everything. So you got a module for templates, there's a module for systems, there's even a module for the purchase division, there's a module for mindset, selling, closing, and then there's even like a bonus module. So let's go and go through it. So I'm going to bring up what it looks like when you're actually logged into the course. So this is it online, and when you're actually inside of the course, it's broken down to modules. So module 1 I have here, it's called system, right? The system, and it's basically teaching you how to learn the system of your current employer's platform. And then there's another one about building the system, and right, how to build your own system to be most compatible and efficient with your employer's system and how you play it. There's other modules like mindset, like the 4 pillars of a solid mindset, the 4 pillar or the time management structure organization that you need to be successful and generate the same exact results. There's also some on lead management and data farming. A lot of us are missing out on deals because we're just simply not managing our leads right, and this teaches you how to do it. I also go over the sales cycle and key players, who you need to have on your good side inside your industry, inside your employment. And these key players are going to be those that actually work for you. So you get to delegate a lot of the tedious admin tasks that you do on a daily basis. But I'll show you how to kind of become their favorite, so much so that they'll red carpet your file. If you don't know what that means, it'll basically put your file to the front of the line. You'll get more compliance from people like loan processors, management, underwriters, credit managers, and things like that. But besides that, we go through like a module called the chase, right? Like marketing versus sales. You understand the difference between it. I teach you how to attract versus chase. I teach you how to master your inbound origination and also outbound origination. And then I teach you how to close. So this is so jam-packed with so much content and information. And inside the Sales Boost Camp, there's this thing called Mentors Library, where you actually get what's called a mentoring archive. And basically, every single one of the mentoring sessions that I have, at least some of the most impactful ones, are uploaded into here. So maybe, during our direct one-on-one coaching, there's a couple of things that you didn't get to cover. Well, now you get to go and kind of sit kind of like a fly on the wall and see it for yourself. You kind of see or listen in on the mentoring sessions that I've had with other students. And there's so many students now that are enrolled into the course and taking advantage of the information. So you have everything from, road to $4 million per month as a purchase loan agent, keeping revenue a priority as an outside loan officer, from $0 to $100,000 real quick as an inside loan officer, attracting realtors as an outside LO. The list goes on and on. Marketing for referral business, new to the purchase team, climbing the ranks inside a call center and inbounds. And then we have hustle bits. So hustle bits are just these small jam-packed pieces of content that just delivers massive amount of value. And it's something that, it's very helpful to have, because these golden nuggets per se is going to be usually that unlock to just kind of get you past kind of that challenge that you may be running into. And so again, where it comes back into be the difference is social proof. So if you go to Facebook, Sales Remastered page, you can actually look at the reviews. Some of the reviews are just followers. Other reviews are from actual live students. And I believe some of the live students are actually here today. But here's one recommendation that I have from an actual enrolled student, and she had basically mentioned how the content at Sales Remastered was different than the content everywhere else. And she basically illustrated how it helped her rise to the top of her sales floor. And so she rose up to the top, made President's Club within her first year, strong, super strong compared to the other LOs who may not have the right mentoring, may not have had the right mindset. You see, there's so much more than just being licensed to sell. You really need to understand how to make moves efficiently, or you're just going to get burnt out. So it's important that you understand, just like what Vicky had illustrated, is that, you know, she took the content, she used the information, executed it, and grew to the top 10% of her company. Another review from Robert stated that, you know, within 3 months, he was already seeing results. So he went, like, you know, he started improving his mindset, self-development techniques. And the month before he actually wrote the review, he funded 22 loans, finished second in the company with over $7 million in volume. Now you do the math, right? So even if he was at 25 basis points on 7 million, that's a lot of money. And it's all about just using the right information, the right content. But we have other students that are enrolled too. You know, right before they found out the information, it seems like that they were lost or they just didn't have the right guidance. And through the content and through the course, fortunately, they're able to find the right content that they needed. But there's more social proof. You know, you can find this again all on Facebook at Sales Remastered, even on Instagram. I got a little highlight reel on my profile page called reviews, and you get to see all and tons of reviews. But here's another loan officer who actually works on the inside. He shared with me that he's going to fund 14 to 16 loans for the month. 14 to 16 loans for the month. That's way more than the 10, right? But even though he may be an inside loan officer and getting paid smaller than an outside loan officer, you compare the math, right? You get paid on quantity of units. You get paid on volume, right? You don't get paid on per transaction per se. It's not like if I close 2 loans at 100 basis points, I'm going to make more than Shane, who closed 16 loans at 25 basis points. You clearly understand who's actually making more money in that way, right? But more social proof. There's a follower by the name of Tyler. Within the first month of actually joining in, right, like the world of Sales Remastered, he went from the #1 in locks, and now is his official first month as a loan officer, he went to the #1 as fundings as well. That's how efficient the information is. That's how efficient the content is, just by getting, you know, the actual mentoring that you need. So today I got something special for you. I got an announcement. I want to help unlock the Sales Remastered University. I want to help unlock the Sales Boost Camp for you. And how we're going to do this today is I'm basically going to deliver lifetime access to these certain fields. So basically inside the Sales Boost Camp, what you get is the secret formula. It's valued at, just the content within is valued at over $9,000 a month, just shy of 10,000, because that formula teaches you how to generate this amount of income per month, not just one time, per month. And then you also get lifetime access to Closing Secrets, just a short, compact module that's designed to help you actually sell, convert your leads to sales more efficiently and in a way that will gain commitment and instill urgency. So it's all the right wordplay, it's all the right delivery methods, the tonalities, and everything that you need to know. But you also get customer service and support, and this is lifetime. So for as long as you are a student within the Sales Remastered University, I'm always just an email away. My help team is just an email away, and you get the response and the support that you need. But also what it's inside is the private mentoring coaching calls. And these coaching calls, they're direct, they're just private. It's just one-on-one with me and you, and we're focusing on your challenges specifically. So we're going over whatever platform you work in, whether you're an inside loan agent or you're an outside loan agent. I'm spending time with you to master your process to generate the results that you need. And then of course you get access to that mentors library, which is just a collection of everyone, other students who've already gone through the course or in the course, and you get to sit as a fly on the wall and listen into their mentoring session, because what you'll find is that they're actually having the same challenges as you. They have the same exact struggles as you. And when you hear the coaching kind of as that third person point of view, you pick up on things, right? And sometimes those things are topics that you may not have covered on your direct mentoring call. So I think that mentors library is worth its weight in gold. But more importantly, you get my own personal templates and scripts. You get the the tools in the scripting and the wordplay that I myself use, as well as the branding blueprint that's going to help you create your own social media brand, but do it in the right way. And when you do it in the right way, you actually get more attraction, and that's how you actually foster the deals with referral partners. But the total value of all this content, in my opinion, is $22,979 because it generates the income that I just showed you on one of my own paychecks, and it shows you how to do it on a monthly basis. So in my opinion, I believe it's worth more than that. But today you can actually enroll into the Sales Boost Camp right now for $1,997. And if you think about the ROI and you think about, as much time and money and energy you're actually putting into your game every day, the last thing you want to do is be burnt out and feel like there's no hope, feel like you don't have, the right support that you need, right? And you might just very well be going through that grind right now. And so money might be an issue. So I'm going to take care of you. And this is the announcement. I have payment plans that are now available, and I'm actually going to link them up here inside the chat box, so that way you guys have direct access to it, and you guys can use credit cards, you can use PayPal, whatever you decide to use. Just get the content, so that way you have access to the information that will help you unlock that next level. So I've just posted up on the chat box, so you guys have direct links to it, and now it's made available to you so you can take advantage of it. But how the payment plan works is simple. It's broken down. So instead of an installment of $19.97, it's broken down to 6 monthly payments of $349. Very, very affordable, very easy to access. And now there's just no excuse, because if you can get access to the information that helps you earn over 5 figures a month in exchange for $349, you're paying more than that on your car, and your car don't do nothing for you but take you from point A to point B. So this vehicle, the Sales Boost Camp, will do the exact same thing, but when you arrive to your destination, you get much more in return. And so 6 payments of $349, and it'll help unlock the course. And again, it comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, because I'm so confident that the results are attainable. You're gonna be able to experience what it's like to actually be a top performer. So one last question to you before I go into the Q&A is, if you could earn an extra $5,000 a month, if you can earn an extra $10,000 a month or more, how much would that help you? Like, if you could just imagine, right? Think about it. Like, if you generate this much in extra in income, how would that change the quality of your lifestyle? I'm pretty sure it would change it a lot, right? It would give you the confidence you need. It would give you the excitement that you want for being in this industry, and it would treat you to the real luxuries that top performers get to experience. When you see the top performer in your industry, typically what are they doing? They're driving the finest cars. They're wearing the best suits, right? They have all the name brand. They have all the kind of that security, that flexibility that we all want. And the good news is we can get that. We can get that today. And you can enroll into the Sales Boost Camp right now. Payment plans are available, and I just provided the links. Again, take advantage of that 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee, because it's you get the sample, you get to experience it. And again, who this works for: refinance loan officers, purchase loan officers, retail, call center, retention, beginners, and seasoned loan officers. It works for every single type of loan officer, because it's giving you the mentoring you need. So let me go and transition back. I want to open up the Q&A, because you guys might have some questions that may, it's probably been building up, and I want to dedicate some time to you guys to answer some of the questions that you guys have. Let me pull up the chat box real quick. So if you guys can, go ahead and add in any questions that you guys have, and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. Let me transition real quick. So I appreciate everybody joining me today, and I hope that this information is helpful. If anything, in the absolute very least, is to really give you kind of the insight that you need to work this game for what it's worth. I think that if you stay ahead of the curve and you just have the right environment, or at least the right resources around you, that is what's going to help you generate the income you want. It's not going to necessarily be the payout. It's not going to be, oh, because this company pays me 100 basis points, but that company pays me 25 basis points. I think it really comes down to, what actually fits for you, what's best for you and what's compatible to you. I think that if you recognize where you would perform optimally, like where you would perform the best, whether it's outside or inside, then that's step number one, right? So regardless, if you could just overlook how much you get paid, like how much the payout is, like, of course that plays some importance. I'm not saying, go work for a company that pays you 5 basis points, but what I'm saying is don't let it be the primary reason as to why it is. Does that make sense? Aaron Springs, what's up, man? Yeah, Aaron Springs is actually inside the sales boost camp. Current boost camp student here, and it is the best I've ever seen. In just 2 weeks, I've originated 7 deals. Crazy. I'm telling you, right? Thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate the feedback. And Aaron has access to sales boost camp right now. So imagine how much is his return on that 7 deals? It's nuts, right? And now that he understands these techniques and he has these teachings at his disposal, like he gets to multiply it and improve it and make more and more and more. If there are other students inside this live stream, please comment below. Let everyone know your feedback. Obviously this is live, so I didn't reach out to you directly and say, hey, say this cool stuff. But share your feedback, share your comments. I think there was a couple others that were actually inside the course and they might still be here, but if you're not, no worries. If you have any questions though, feel free to comment below. If you have any questions about the course, if you have any questions about the content, maybe some of the live streams, I'll share about another 10 minutes with you guys and kind of go through whatever questions or comments you guys have. Thanks, Aaron. It's all in your execution, brother. It's all you, really, because you invested into yourself, right? So I couldn't have made you do that. You chose to invest. So you chose to hold yourself accountable. You chose to, take the risk and just invest into something that you needed, right? Where you didn't necessarily know what the results would be, but you took that chance. And because you took that chance, you are now executing. It's a little bit different than the free content that you find from me, because the free content is just free information. So you could take it, but do you really actually implement it? Well, what I have found is that, we have tons and tons of resources, but usually we don't actually act on those resources. We don't necessarily use it for what it's worth. But what I found is that when we invest into it, like resources like gym clothes, simple as gym clothes, right? Like if I could have invested real cheap on some gym clothes from Kohl's or Walmart, but no, I go a little bit all out because I look at it as an investment. And when you invest into it and you put your money where your mouth is, it's going to kind of motivate you to deliver, right? Like, oh man, I'm vested. I got to fully deliver. And I think that's one mindset hack that really enforces execution. But I appreciate the comments, brother, and I definitely appreciate the insight. I think that it is your execution, though. That's actually what's pushing you to the top. So everyone that's currently here right now, Marco, thank you very much for joining. That's right. Selling stuff. It's channel Sales Remastered, brother. Jermaine from Richmond, Virginia was in the house. I appreciate you for dropping by. New Jersey's in the house. Camilla, thank you for sharing some time. Jermaine, you're very welcome, brother. Vicky, Inside Purchase Agent, thanks for sharing your time. Joseph Medina, thank you for dropping by. Texas is in the house. David Thurber, appreciate you stopping by. Yarnell, what's up? Inside Loan Officer Martin, thank you for coming into the live stream. Kevin Scott, Outside Loan Agent, appreciate you sharing the time. I know that a lot of this information is, it's going to apply to not necessarily everyone, because maybe you're an outside loan agent and you get paid 150 basis points or 200 basis points, or maybe you're an inside loan agent and you just started, so maybe you're only getting like 20 basis points. At the end of the day, you're going to have a plethora of options of where you could work. And the only thing that allows you to actually work within these platforms and these industries is basically your license. So as long as you're licensed right now, you have the opportunity to sell money. You have an opportunity to create your own business. And what I've found is that those who use their business or use their license as a business, like even though you might work for an employer, you kind of change your view on it and look at it as your business. So whether you work in a cubicle or you work out in the field, the bottom line is that's your business. The people who go into this industry with that type of mindset, that entrepreneurial type mindset, are the ones who are dominating the game. Those are typically the ones who are getting paid the most because they value their time, but they also hold themselves accountable. They're not there for the base pay. They're not there for the draw, for the guarantee. They're people like Aaron who put their money where their mouth is and they invest into themselves. And now they're just like Aaron. They're now reaping the benefits. They actually get to see the return. And look, if 7 loans, I mean, tell me that just didn't pay for itself within the first month. So now everything is free. It just paid for itself, and then he has lifetime access to the content that's going to help him generate more revenue, more deals, and more income. So I'm excited for him. Vicky, thank you very much for commenting. Opening pipe for February with 14 units. Vicky's actually a student also within the course. And she was actually one of the testimonials that I posted up on Facebook. Nice. Strong pipeline, Vicky. It's just the beginning of February, so I know I'll still have a few more units to add this month. That's right. Get some, lady. Vicky's she's also an enrolled student in the sales boost camp. And, I've had a few mentoring sessions with her already. And one thing that I noticed from the difference between, your average mediocre agent versus the agent that's destined to win is the commitment, is the enthusiasm, it's the energy, it's the willingness to take a step out of the comfort zone. So even if you've never invested into a course or a training course, I want you to look at this a little bit different. This is not a course being given by a sales trainer. I'm not a sales trainer. I'm a sales hustler. I'm a salesman with you. So, but I'm just very passionate because I use these techniques to help bring my family to where we are today. I don't have a college degree. I don't have, accolades from school. Like I barely graduated high school. But what I do understand is the art of negotiation. I do understand the art of influence, and I do understand the art of marketing. And so I've practiced this for over 20 years now because I've relied on it. Like I wasn't, when I was coming up as a youngster, I probably wasn't your ideal employee. Like my head was bald, it was big. I sagged my pants, I wore baggy clothes. So I probably wasn't the necessarily your ideal employee. So I had to usually work in areas that allowed me to do, or kind of accepted me for what I was. And that typically was the call center environment and, in sales. And so, both inside and outside, I've sold paving stones, I've sold, bankruptcy services. And one thing that I know is that the teachings that I share with you, not only in the course, but on the channel, it applies to everything, not just loans. And the best part about it is when you start to get really good at it, you get to use it just for everyday communication. You get to use it for communicating with your partner, your spouse, your manager, your support staff. It really, really helps you sell your way through life. And I think everything is a sale. I think, to the comment that I saw, like online selling on a live video, I think we're selling regardless. So whether it's a live video or it was a posted video on the YouTube page, I'm selling to keep your attention. I think we're all selling something to keep our attention. We're selling ourselves to stay with our employer. We're selling ourselves to push ourselves and take that extra step. You know what I mean? So I think that at the end of the day, when you understand how to really effectively sell something, you'll be stronger and better off just by having that kind of advantage. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this live stream today, because the teachings are going to teach you how to create a system regardless of what you get paid, whether it's 25 basis points or 100 basis points or 200 basis points, whatever you get paid. Identify what it's actually going to take to get to where you want to go. So even if you're at 25 basis points, but your ideal amount of income is $20,000 per month, then you'll now know kind of the formula, the science, right? So you know how many loans you need to close. And now the question is, well, how do I ensure that I have a strong chance to close that many deals? That's where the sales boost camps comes in. So as long as you have the right mentor, the right coaching, the right influence, you're not going to burn up all your time, and you're going to put yourself closer to understanding how to generate that amount of income, how to generate that amount of results. And it just takes the time for you to invest into yourself, just like you've invested an hour into watching this. Norman, can you share an example of how you turned a bad call interaction around and closed the deal? What was the strategy and time frame? Okay, yeah. Actually, I just had one this past week, and it was okay. So I had pretty much basically a Mr. Patel on the phone, and he was just ripping me for just the rate and fees. He didn't want to give me any information right from the get, and and so the trick is like, okay, well, how do I extract information from them without being creative, right? And so I was using these certain phrases that are found inside the course. Some of them was actually found in Thursday's live stream. That live stream, in case you didn't catch it, with words that make or break your sale. And I was using these certain phrases and techniques to kind of grab their attention. So as he was kind of getting frustrated that I wasn't giving him the interest rate or telling him whether or not he could get a free service, I was able to turn it around pretty quickly by saying, "Oh yeah, no worries. Let me go ahead and get that for you." Right? So he believed that I was going to deliver it. You know what? Before I send it out, let me just make sure it's worth your time. So that allowed me to ask more questions, and it got down to a point where I had to ask his social security number, right, for the credit report. And he was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. You're not going to pull my credit. It's going to hurt my credit. I don't want to hurt my credit. I got perfect credit. Just give me a quote based on perfect credit." And I was like, "Yeah, I can definitely do that, but I need to know if it's applicable to you. You see, the information I'm going to give you, Mr. Patel, it has my license on it." Now, fortunately, I work for a company that can only give you information that is applicable to you. And because my license is on it, I want to make sure it's worth your time, because we just spent a good 10, 15 minutes talking about what you want to do. So if you'd like to know if I can deliver what it is you want, then I have to complete my job. If you don't allow me to complete my job, I'd be more than happy to give you generic information. But the fact that we just spent close to a half hour together, I'm sure you want more than generic information. And so I was able to extract that, and then tell him that, if he hasn't had his credit pulled yet in 2019, technically this would be his freebie, right? And the upside is that if he did the credit report, because his whole fallback was, I don't want it to hurt my credit. And I said, well, Mr. Patel, the whole reason why you even have a credit score to begin with is it's based on how you manage your credit. So I believe that what you're trying to do is lower your payment and create savings so you can manage your credit better. And if that's the case, then this is actually why you would want the inquiries, to make sure that you're managing your debts the very best you can. Here, watch, I'll show you. What's your social? And so I kind of build up that curiosity. But I was able to turn it on pretty quick. So and then the outline of how to frame the pitch and actually convert it into a close is actually outlined inside the course in detail. And I think without those key principles, that call could have very well ended up just being a waste of my time and a waste of Mr. Pastel's time. But more importantly, would have defeated me going into the next call. But because I know these techniques that I use, I was able to convert Mr. Patel. I locked Mr. Patel. The best part about it is I did it with no lender credit. I did it at a much higher rate than what he has right now. It's because I educated Mr. Patel, and I showed him that making a couple moves was able to deliver the results that he really, really wanted. And so now I'm working with Mr. Patel, and it's a nice loan amount too. Even though I'm an inside call agent, right? Like I managed within a call center, I'm still, flipping deals per month. I mean, you guys saw it on my own pay stub. So I'm generating income like that from an inside call center and also managing a team. And I think that if you can use some of the principles and teachings within the Sales Boost Camp, not only can you produce the same results, but you're going to be able to kind of make it a game. And I think that's probably the key answer to your question, Norman, is that I've just simply made it a game. I look at it as almost like a challenge. And by looking at it that way, I don't take things personally. If I kind of look at it almost like sparring, right? Like, okay, you want to spar, check out this move, right? Like battling, And I think what helped me too with kind of the wordplay is I'm quick with the words. I'm quick with the rebuttals. And the reason why is because I've done it for so long. And after when you do something for so long and you're repetitive at it, you just naturally become great at it. And so these rebuttals were refined over the course of the last 2 decades, and it's been refined in a way where they become so efficient that it's straight to the point. Like the reason why, Aaron outlined that he was able to capture so much business is because he simply just is using the exact formula. He's using the teachings within the course to deliver the results that he needs, and he's breaking past the rejection. He's breaking past the resistance, and that's how you're able to close that many units in this type of market, in this type of environment. So Alfonso, currently junior LOing, I think that's what it means. A lot of deals, closing about 8 to 14 a month. 3 being my own generated. What's your take on it, D? How long do you think I should JLO? I think JLO, what you're talking about, is your junior loan officer, right? A lot of deals. Closing about 8 to 14 a month. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so I imagine you're kind of the handoff. So you're generating the deals and then you hand it off to a senior loan officer. I say right away, bro. Especially since you found Sales Remastered. I'd say right away. Don't hold yourself back. Because you need to go through the experience. You need to throw yourself into it. And if you invest into the course or you invest in the sales boost camp, I'm sure that you dominate all those senior LOs that you're currently handing your deals off to. So hopefully that helps. Any more questions on the live feed? Looks like we are okay. Yeah. So Alfonso did say that it is JLOing. Alfonso, man, you gotta, in my opinion, I think you should jump and grow into the I don't know if they call it senior loan officer role of where you're at, because we have so many different titles and names, right? I think that if you have an NMLS number, you should be ramping up as much as you can. Don't let your perception of like, oh, but I've only been doing this for 3 months, or I just got my license, that don't matter. What matters is your execution. What matters is your awareness, of your skill set. What matters is how you implement the use of your licensing, right? So you could sit there and take your time because you believe that you've only been in the business for 3 months, or you've just been licensed for a month, and that perception can actually be an anchor to you. When I've known people who just got licensed, like myself, when I got licensed back into this game, it was at the end of 2014 or 2013, and I didn't hold myself back just because I got licensed. Right when I got back in, because when the market died, I got out of the business, and that's when I was selling the paving stones, bankruptcy services, loan mods, and I was doing all different type of sales. And it took a minute for me to get back into real estate, but I did towards the end of 2013. And I jumped right in, like hit the ground running. Like I advanced fast, and I wasn't holding myself back with the perception of, oh, but I just got licensed, let me take it slow. Even though there's a lot of new rules in the game since I last was in it, a lot of new regulations were entered in it, because it was kind of like the wild west before TRID, for all these rules. And so, but I didn't allow that to stop me. I didn't allow that to be my anchor. And I think that's one of the common challenges that a lot of loan officers have today, is they are actually their own anchor. You'll be amazed how many people don't want to use the resources in front of them, kind of like how Aaron's using the resources to generate more results, or Vicky's using the same resources to generate the results that she wants. You'll be amazed how many people will actually overlook the free content. I know it all the time. I dish out nothing but gold at my company, and I see agents who need it the most simply overlook it. Like, right, they work next to me, right, and my team, but none of them approach me or my team and say, hey man, how can I get over this? How can I do this? And how can I do that? Like, you got direct access, boo-boo. Like, why would you not want to learn the efficiency of doing it right? Why wouldn't you want to learn the right way of doing your craft? And my only answer is that some of us are just addicted to the struggle. They're addicted to the worry. They're addicted to being comfortable and not wanting to hold themselves accountable. But those who hold themselves accountable and who step out of their comfort zone and put their money where their mouth is and invest themselves, their time, their money, their energy, then they have they reach a point of no return where it's like, okay, I'm vested. I'm gonna make this happen, Captain. Like I'm gonna do this. And they'll look at everything around them, the resources around them, the training around them, the books around them. They'll feed their mind and they'll build themselves. And I think that is really what separates the money makers versus the people that blows my mind why they even got licensed in this game, because I'm sure they could probably make more money in a general operations role and not have as much stress, not have as much rejection. Like, man, if you're not clearing 5 figures a month right now, if you're not making money right now, if you don't have like money stacked in the bank right now and you're licensed to sell money, man, there's got to be a problem there. You know what I mean? Like, we have to open our eyes and look at that. I've noticed that a lot of times it's just because of the guidance that we have. There's a lot of agents that just don't have the right leadership. They don't have the right training. They don't have the right resources. But because of that, they see it in a different way. They believe, oh, I don't have the right leads, or it's my company's fault. I bet it's greener over there. And so they kind of get blinded and they go through this dark rabbit hole that just leaves them bouncing from company to company to company. And the problem with that is it's very hard to build a book of business when you're just from company to company to company. Does that make sense? So I hope that answers your question, Alfonso. They have accounts and the agents are giving me the leads, but because the branch managers are accounts, I get 50 basis instead of the full 150. Yeah, bro. You need to jump out. You need to jump out and be a loan officer for sure. And just stay tuned to Sales Remastered. So that's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you very much for sharing some time with me. Again, look at the links that are going to be in the notes section of this video. And check out I've also pasted to the comments box, and look at it. Go to salesremaster.com. Look at the vehicles that are there, whether it's Closing Secrets 101, the Secret Formula, or the Sales Boost Camp. Give yourself an advantage. Give yourself the necessary tools that you need to maximize your potential, because you're licensed, because you're you're going to do it anyway, right? Once Monday comes around, you're going to find yourself in one of two ways. You're going to find yourself prepared, or you're going to find yourself kind of just going with the flow. And I think that if you develop that mindset of a thermostat, which basically you control your environment, versus a thermometer where you're kind of reactive to your environment, I think you'll have much more enjoyment in this field, because otherwise it's just going to be a constant grind. You're going to be like that one dude on that picture with his head in his hands and just don't understand why he's running into so much conflict. And you'd be amazed. It's because the way that they were taught. It's because maybe the words that you were taught and the words that you're using right now, there's this magical thing that happens when you understand what words you use, how to use it, and how to deliver your message in a way that melts resistance and gains compliance and really suggests referral business. Because I get referred a lot, and a lot of the business that I get right now is from past clients. So I get a mixture and combination of both. But as a practitioner, I would love to work with you. I'd love to do some one-on-one mentorings with you and deliver same results that I'm delivering to the students already in Sales Remastered. So I appreciate everyone on this live stream, wherever you're catching it, and wishing you guys a solid, powerful February as we go into the next month, as well as the rest of 2019. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Bye.